Right now, I just want to go over to Mike Perlstein because there are more questions that we have here regarding who was involved with this, who's responsible for this. We know that one suspect is dead, but apparently, Mike, there are others.
Right, and I just got a briefing from several sources, including inside law enforcement, that they are actively searching for 4 people who are what they are describing as linked to the suspect. They're not yet using the term suspect. To be a suspect, you have to be connected to a crime, but they're obviously linked. And what they are going through right now, as we speak, the whole cadre of law enforcement from the FBI, local law enforcement, and other federal agencies are poring over video. This is one of the highest concentrations of surveillance video, security video, both the NOLA city crime cameras. We have businesses with their own video, and people who were actually there when it happened shooting cell phone video. So there's a wide range of video that's coming in, made available, and they are trying to pinpoint, starting at the locations where at least 2 suspicious, possibly IEDs, were discovered, either detonated or removed, and trying to link others who were apparently linked to the suspect to see if they can use the highly sophisticated facial recognition technology and other techniques to pinpoint who these other people are. The search is quite active, and as you mentioned, this went from the first 4 blocks of Bourbon Street to a massive and expanding investigation. We know that in the St. Roch neighborhood, there on Mandeville Street, the apparent location Airbnb where the suspect stayed, raided, served with a warrant, an explosion there. Fire department had to respond to that. Now we are hearing that in Houston, where the suspect was from, there's a location there where the FBI has raided a location. So the threads of this are wide-ranging, expanding, and quite active. We very well, I know we're not scheduled for another law enforcement briefing, but I will say that if there are clear images of other potential suspects, the people that they are searching for, called linked to the deceased suspect, we very well may get the public enlisted for its help in any additional sightings, video. Another piece of law enforcement technology in play are license plate readers. We know that the truck used in the attack had that Texas license plate, which had to pass through, it appears, Texas into Louisiana for one point, as well as other license plate readers possibly in the metro area, to pinpoint the track, the location, and most importantly, and this is the highest priority right now, we have both Quantico FBI involved. We have people from the FBI Quantico headquarters here in New Orleans now, all assembling to look for the potential other suspects. And all of this points to the fact that what we saw, as horrific as it is, it actually could have been a lot worse if, in fact, these improvised explosive devices had somehow been successfully detonated. Obviously, the crowd on those first 4 blocks of Bourbon Street was kind of peak on a New Year's Eve celebratory evening. But bombs in multiple locations, just imagine the possible damage. So unknown how all of this was triggered. We saw the rather dramatic and alarming video of that truck bypassing a police SUV that was parked to, I guess, replace the bollard that's now under repair. But you got to really kind of ask the question, had that bollard been up, this truck still could have hit that sidewalk, plowed into the large group of people at a very high rate of speed. And right now, all eyes are on these people linked to the suspect, their roles, and I can tell you that is a massive team looking over just scores and scores of video from multiple locations all over the French Quarter and beyond.
You know, Mike, we heard, a lot of us and our sources this morning heard that Jefferson Parish there may have been something going on in Jefferson Parish. Tried to confirm that. We haven't heard anything from Jefferson Parish today. However, now the FBI is in control of this investigation, so it's kind of doubtful that we will. But you would think that all of these different scenes that we're hearing about are linked to them trying to pinpoint who these extra suspects are and who these people are who were spotted on camera.
Absolutely. And I can tell you that when they say, if you see something, say something, that is being taken quite seriously by a lot of people. They are actually going through tips that are turning out to be unfounded, suspicious, box or even a backpack left behind, but they have to check it out. And the reason is underscored by the fact that in a couple of these instances, they have found what looks like to be improvised explosive devices that they've had to deal with the bomb squad, obviously our NOPD bomb squad, helped by federal agencies. So that message still holds that for anyone seeing any kind of suspicious activity, any sort of unaccompanied, what looks like it could be a device, suitcase, backpack, or box, to call it in. And that may be, very well be some of the things that we had been hearing early on with suspicious activity or suspicious things spotted by witnesses. Better safe than sorry. They are checking all of these.
Yeah.
Here we know that in New Orleans we have 2 active crime scene locations, the Mandeville Street location as well as Bourbon Street. That's now expanding to anywhere and everywhere an explosive device has been found. Like I said, they are pulling every square inch of possible video to try to identify who may have helped this suspect.
I had a question regarding you talked about facial recognition, and we talked about all of the cameras that we have across the city with technology being as advanced as it is. I'm sure that people will be able to find exactly who these suspects are quickly, but how viable is it? Like, how quickly can we identify who these people are? Okay,
so on the one hand, it is a little bit of a needle in a haystack proposition, because these are hours and hours of footage from dozens, even hundreds of cameras. But there is a massive team. They are guided by, obviously, where the attack occurred, where the explosive devices were discovered, and possibly between the Mandeville Street location and where the attack ultimately happened, able to check the license plate readers to identify anywhere that this suspect and possibly others were located enough. And this is the second part of what law enforcement has to go through. As good as some of the video is, and we've seen it, used it, it solved crimes, among the cameras that they're looking at are Project NOLA, which is a private nonprofit that has pretty high state-of-the-art facial recognition. NOPD actually uses that quite frequently, but you still need a clear shot, a clear angle. As we know, the attack occurred, in the middle of the night, 3:15 or so, and with darkness, and in the case of a crowded Bourbon Street, many people coming and going. There could be facial coverings and other things to obscure the identities.
But we don't know when they planted those devices.
Don't know.
So that could have been yesterday at 8 o'clock in the morning for all we know. We got very few details. All we know is from that law enforcement bulletin that the AP is citing that they got their information from. Quickly, don't leave yet. We do want to update everyone and say that the Orleans Parish Coroner just sent out information that says that the death count is now up to 15.
It is up to 15 people. This is coming directly from the New Orleans coroner, and I'm just going to say part of his statement. As of now, 15 people are deceased. It will take several days to perform all autopsies, and once we complete the autopsies and talk with the next of kin, they will release, of course, all of the identifications of the victims. 3 of those victims we did a release to you just a little bit earlier after their families have been notified. But